chapter 20, where God spoke through his prophet Moses to his people and gave them the 10 commandments. And these 10 commandments really form the basis of all laws on the earth today. And those laws were given then and are still applicable now. If we look at these laws, we'll see that they're as relevant then as they are now. God said, I am the Lord, thy God, that have brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. That was his introduction. God reminded them of who he is. Because many of us, we forget who God is. Once our problems are solved, everything is going fine, we forget how God has delivered us from the bondage of sin. Because Egypt is symbolic of sin and the world. How God took us from the hands of Satan and brought us back with the blood of his Son. So God introduced himself, said, I am the God, I am the Lord thy God. See, there's a difference. I am the Lord thy God. He is the Lord, is also our God. And he has brought us from the land of sin, the land of slavery, out of the house of bondage. We always need to remember that we're only here today because of God's mercy, because of the shedding of his blood of his precious Son. That's why you and I can be seated in this church today. Otherwise, we'll still be outside there, struggling with sin, Satan kicking us everywhere. And there are many millions who are in that position who don't know how to get out of it. They've tried everything. Some of them have tried drugs. They've tried alcohol. They've tried traveling. They've tried all kinds of things. But they're still back to square one. There's no solution. They still feel the emptiness, not knowing that only God can deliver them. He said, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That was the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. What does that God mean by that? It meant the small g gods. He said, thou shalt not make any unto thee any graven image, any likeness of anything in heaven above, the earth beneath, or the water underneath the earth. To what? Thou shalt not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord, thy God, am a jealous God. See? God himself said it. He said he's a jealous God. That's why he cannot bear. Why? The jealousy of God is not like the human jealousy. Because human jealousy is based on conditional love. But God's love for you and I is unconditional. He loves us regardless. See? So because of that love, and because of what he has already done for us, God cannot share us, he cannot bear us that we will go to another God for help, for deliverance. No. God cannot bear it. And so he said it. He didn't hide it. He said, I am a jealous God. In Yoruba it means Olorun is jealous for you and I. So we're very careful what we do. And this is the consequence. When we go to other gods, said I will visit or ask or request the iniquity or the sins of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations of them that hate me. So if we decide to seek other gods for help, for deliverance, for blessing, whatever, like those people who go out to do money rituals, like seeking other gods or whatever, any other faith, whatever it is, God says he will visit, he would get the children to the third and fourth generation of those that do those things, those that refuse to seek God, their children and children to the third and fourth. They'll be paying for the sins of their fathers and great-grandfathers. See? So this is the consequence of not loving God and his commandments. We risk laying a cost for our children's children. So you might have gone, but remember that you're going to leave some people behind. So if you choose to live your own life according to what you want, you have other gods, you do what you like, you don't worship God, know that the people you are left behind, they are going to suffer the consequences. Many people today are suffering the sins of their fathers and great-grandfathers. It's called a generational sin. So those that hate me, I mean those that don't worship God. Those that don't serve God, their children to the third and fourth generation pay the price. Now, when he says you don't have no other God before me, many people can feel that, oh, I don't have any God I bow down to in my house. I don't have any image on the sea, in the air. But many of us, we have small g gods. Anything that takes more of your time than Jehovah God, that thing is a God unto you. Many people will spend their time doing different kinds of things, go to different places. They have maybe it's money, maybe it's film stars, maybe sports. Some people, they spend on a season ticket, they spend $300 on the season tickets to go and watch all the sport activities. But let them go to church, they put 10 cents in the bowl. You see, if you really want to know who your God is, check your accounts. Check how much money you're spending to your activities. That will tell you who God is in your life. If you are the one spending a lot of money on the church, giving to God, then truly God is your God. But if you're the one spending 90% on other things and 10% on God, then you know that your God is another God. It's not Jehovah God. So the severe consequences of serving other gods we lay in store for our children and children's children, the third generation. Very difficult circumstances. They will be paying, even though they're innocent, they'll be paying for our own sins. You have Joshua 24 verse 19. Joshua 24 verse 19. And Numbers 14:18. Joshua 24 verse 19 and Numbers 14:18. Hallelujah.
But Joshua said to the people,
Yes.
you cannot serve the Lord,
Uh-huh.
for he is a holy God.
Yes.
He is a jealous God.
Mm-hmm.
He will not forgive your transgressions,
Mm-hmm.
nor your sins.
Yes.
If you forsake the Lord and serve foreign gods,
Uh-huh.
then he will turn and do you harm
That's it.
and consume you
Mhm.
after he has done you good.
That's it. See? If you turn, in other words, after knowing God, and you now go to start serving other gods, like many people do in the church today. On Sundays, they're in the church, not only in this church, other churches as well. But whenever they have a problem in their family or at work, they go to one Baba somewhere. One herbalist, one witch doctor, one Alpha somewhere. They go there. They don't come to the shepherd. This is the reason why God raised up prophets in this church. So that people don't need, he said, you don't need to go anywhere else. If you want to consult God about a situation, I've raised up prophets for you. You know, you can consult them. God, the number one thing God hates most is idolatry, serving another God. Because as he said, I'm a jealous God. Numbers 14 verse 18.
The Lord is long-suffering,
Mm-hmm.
and great mercy, forgiving iniquity
Mm-hmm.
and transgression,
Yes.
and by no means clearing the guilty,
Mm-hmm.
visiting the iniquity of their
Yes.
fathers
Yes.
upon their children,
Mm-hmm.
also the third and fourth generation.
That's it. See? So always remember that you might have gone, but those who are going to leave behind, they will suffer the consequences. In fact, they did a study 25 years ago. There were two brothers in the same family. One of them served God, the other one did not. And they followed the generations, I think for the next 5 or 6 generations. And they found that the children of the man that served God, one of them became a senator, another one became a lawyer, one became a doctor, and the other generation, those children did very well. But for the other one who didn't serve God, became criminals, they are locked in jail, they committed suicide, all kinds of terrible things. See? So when you serve God, there are benefits. And then the next verse is, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. See? So when you love God and serve him, for 1,000 generations after you're gone, God will be showing you mercy, showing them mercy. This is exactly what Americans are enjoying today. What Americans are enjoying today is not their own activities, it's what their forefathers did. When they landed on the land of America, the first thing they did was put the cross on the land. and said, this land belongs to God. We commit it to the hands of our Lord God. We Mayflower, you see. And even with that money today you see, God is a refuge there. So any nation like that, God will bless them and show them mercy. But when your nation is full of witchcraft, idolatry, all these occultic practices, you can't see anything. This is what's plaguing most African nations. Most of these nations are involved in all this idolatry, but so that thing brings a curse. And that's exactly what God said. It will show mercy to those that love him, thousands of them, and that keep his commandments. So whenever you're doing this, remember, one day I'll be leaving this earth. I want my children for God to show mercy to them, even long after I'm gone, because of what I've served God. See? Because you have served God, your children and children's children will be getting the rewards. Say, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that takes his name in vain. What does that mean, to take the name of the Lord in vain? It means to call the name of God for something which is false, or to call it in a careless manner. For instance, people say, use Jesus as a swear word. That is a serious sin against God. It's so common. Say Jesus. Say, no. You are calling the name of the Lord in vain. You are breaking one of the 10 commandments of God. So it said that the Lord said he will not hold him guiltless. That means there's a punishment for anybody that does that. But so many of us do it. We don't know. That's why many people are in trouble in their lives, because that's their habit. If you say anything, Jesus. No. The Jews, they don't even call the name Jehovah. They don't call the name Jehovah outside the temple. It's so holy to them. They don't call it. But most of us, we don't respect that name. Let's go to the book of Micah 6 verse 11. Micah 6 verse 11. It says, he will not hold him guiltless. He will not be innocent that takes my name in vain. So the Lord's name is holy. It's not a name to be bandied around wherever, whatever, or to even use it to swear falsely. People do that all the time. And of course, the curse comes upon their lives. They start running helter-skelter. Micah 6 verse 11.
Hallelujah.
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 Shall I count pure those with the wicked scales and with the bags of deceitful weights?
Yes. You will not hold him guiltless. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It's very important. So the Sabbath day is a holy day. It's just a Good Friday. It's not an ordinary day. It says 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. What does Sabbath mean? It means rest. In it, you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor the strangers within thy gates. Why? It said, because in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that's in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, made it holy. But what do we find nowadays? The stores are open on Sundays. Sundays become like a normal day, really, in this country of Canada. Nobody respects Sabbath day anymore. People do whatever they want. Go to work, come back. You go, No. The Sabbath day should be a rest day for you. Just go to church, worship God, come back home, and rest and sleep, eat, and go to work the next day. Now, this is very important because there are consequences for not observing that rest. Now, there are some people that have to work on the Sabbath day, for the police, the emergency services, doctors, nurses, all those things. But outside that, any other person that can avoid it should avoid it. That's what the Lord is saying. Should give reverence to that day. It's a holy day. It's not our day. It's the Lord's day. The Sabbath day is the day of rest that God himself sanctified it, set it apart, and made it holy. Genesis 2 verse 2. Genesis 2 verse 2. And Nehemiah 13 verse 16.
And on the seventh day,
Yes.
God ended his work.
Uh-huh.
Which he had made.
Yes.
He rested on that seventh day.
Mm-hmm.
What is work? And
Mhm.
he had made.
Mm-hmm. That's it. So, okay. And the next passage. So we're going to read. Yeah, that was Genesis 2, Nehemiah 13 verse 16. Nehemiah 13 verse 16. Nehemiah 13 verse 16, yeah.
Okay.
Nehemiah.
Hallelujah.
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 Men of Tyre
Yes.
dwell there also,
Mm-hmm.
who brought in fish
Uh-huh.
and all kinds of goods,
You see?
and sold them on the Sabbath day
Go on.
to the children of Judah and in Jerusalem.
Yes.
Then I contended with the nobles of Judah
Mm-hmm.
and said to them, what evil thing is this that you do,
Mm-hmm.
by which you profane the Sabbath day?
You see, you profane, you violate it. Go on.
Did not your fathers do those?
Mm-hmm.
And did not our God bring all this disaster on us
See?
and on this city?
Mm-hmm.
Yet you bring added wrath
Yes.
on Israel
That's
by
it.
profaning the Sabbath.
Sabbath day. See? So serious sin. Now, if you go to Isaiah 58 verse 13, you see the rewards of observing the Sabbath there. It said, if, Isaiah 58 verse 13, if you turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my holy day. See, it's very clear. If you refuse to do what you want to do on my holy day and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. Can you check that? Nor speaking your own words. So it's very particular what we can do on Sabbath day. Not going your own ways, not finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words. So even the words we speak, some people spend Sunday gossiping about other people. They do visitation and they gossip, speak. But when they come to church, they gossip. No. You are defiling yourself and violating the Sabbath day. Then, see what will happen. You then shall thou delight yourself in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed you with the heritage of Jacob your father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. So there's tremendous blessings when we can observe that day. God will cause us to ride high and give us the heritage of Jacob. So God give us the strength to observe this, because there are consequences and rewards for observing it. Matthew 12:36. Matthew 12:36. Because God himself gave us an example. So we can't say, how can I observe Sabbath day after God didn't observe it? God observed it first. Go on. Matthew 12:36.
But I say unto you,
Yes.
the every angel
Mm-hmm.
that men speak shall
Every what?
every idle word
Idle word, yes. Mm-hmm.
that men shall speak,
Yes.
they shall give account
Mhm.
thereof in the day of judgment.
That is it. See? It's not speaking your own words. So the word you speak on in the holy day is very important. It's not the day of doing telephone ministry and calling somebody and gossiping and speaking. No. Be careful what you speak. In fact, in the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 5, it says, very careful when you come to church. Let's read it. Book of Ecclesiastes, after Proverbs. Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Let's start from verse 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. I can read it. It says, keep your foot when you go to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. What's that? That's your words. For they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and you are upon the earth. Therefore, let your words be few. You see? Let your words be few. I wish most of us can take that advice. For a dream comes through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multiple words. Do you know that if you're quiet, people will fear you and really respect you? But if you're somebody always speaking, nobody will respect what you say. Those people who are quiet and silent, they are always more respected. People give them reverence because you don't know what's inside them. But if you're always saying everything in your heart, everybody knows your heart, there's nothing to fear, there's no respect. Next is when you vow a vow unto God, defer not to pay for it, don't delay to pay it, for he had no pleasure in fools. Pay that which you have vowed. Better it is that you should not vow than you should vow and not pay. Don't let your mouth cause your flesh to sin. Neither say that before the angel that it was an error. There is no joke in heaven, no. Say, oh, I was joking. That's for this earth, not for heaven. Wherefore should God be angry at your voice and destroy the work of your hands? See, many people had the work of their hands destroyed because they made a vow and they never paid it. For in the multitude of dreams and many words, there are also diverse vanities. In other words, where words are many, sin is not absent. That's what the Bible says. The more you talk, the more you sin, the more you defile yourself. Do you know that there are monasteries in this earth where they've taken a vow of silence? And they only speak maybe 5 times or 6 times a year. They're only allowed to speak. They take a vow of silence. If you go to where they live, nobody speaks. They communicate by other means, but they don't speak. And they're on this earth, monasteries, nuns, and they're worshiping God. They take a vow of silence. Maybe on Christmas Day, Easter, they're allowed to speak. Otherwise, they don't. So this is very important. And it continues. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the earth with the Lord that God gives you. This is very important. Many people, they don't. When it says honor your father and mother, what does it mean? It means to take care of them, to do what you're responsible as a son or daughter to them. Respect them. Many of people, they neglect their parents in the village, wherever, and when they die, they have a big funeral. They spend thousands of naira or dollars, whatever. This is a parent you never went to see, a parent you never called, a parent you never gave money. Some of them say, oh, your mom is a witch, your dad is a witch, so don't go there. And they neglect them. They are already cursed. Anybody who does that, you cannot get God's blessing if you do that to your parents. I don't care how bad they are. God didn't say, honor your father and mother if they are good. No. He says, honor your father and mother, your days may be long. It's a covenant. If you want to live long on this earth, you better honor your parents. If you don't honor them, your life is going to be shortened. That's what the Bible is saying. And your days may be long upon the land which the Lord God has given you. There's no point spending millions of naira on the funeral of your dad or mom when you didn't give them even 200 naira when they were on the earth, when they were still alive. See, many old people are suffering in their towns, their villages, because their sons have left them, they've gone to do their business, and they hardly ever come to see them. And those parents are yearning. After I had 5 children, why am I in this situation? Many of these are well-to-do, they are abroad, but they never call home, they never send money, it's a curse. Somebody who does that is already under a curse. Thou shalt not kill. Well, we're going to qualify that in the next passage. It's talking of not only physical death, but also spiritual death. There are many people who kill by their thoughts, by their actions. You don't have to stab somebody or shoot them to kill them, no. By your thoughts alone, you can kill people. You shall not commit adultery. Well, we know what adultery is. That is having an affair with somebody else's wife. And that's going on in the church, even as we speak. Matthew 5:27. Matthew 5:27. You can also have adultery by serving another god, a form of prostitution. When you go and serve another god, you're committing adultery because you've left your husband, which is Jesus Christ, to go to husband. Go on.
Ye have heard that it was said by
Hmm?
them of old times, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes. That's not coming adultery. Go on.
But I say unto you,
Mm-hmm.
that whosoever looketh on a woman
Yes. To lust after her. Mm-hmm.
Committed adultery with her already.
In his heart.
In his heart.
That's it. Go, you see? So now they say, oh, I'm not having a wife. I'm not having any affair with anybody's wife. But how about that pornographic movie you are watching on your phone or your television, your office, or that pornographic magazine? You are doing the same thing because you've already looked at that woman's body, or if it's the other way, the man's body, you've already looked at it, you've already committed it. So there's no point saying that you're not guilty of adultery. You are already guilty because in your heart, you've looked at another man's wife or woman or whatever it is. So you just clarify these rules in the New Testament because many people say, oh, they pretend. But God knows our hearts. And it's the heart that is going to judge us on, not on what we pretend to be. We shall not steal. Yes, we know that. Matthew 19 verse 18. Don't think stealing has grace. If you steal a pen from your office, it's just as bad as taking a gun and doing armed robbery on the road. It's the same to God.
He said unto him,
Yes.
which Jesus said,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt not murder,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt not commit adultery,
Yeah.
thou shalt not steal,
Mm-hmm.
thou shalt not bear false witness,
Mm-hmm.
not thy father and thy mother,
Yes.
and thou shalt know thy neighbors as thyself.
Okay. So that should not bear false witness against your neighbor. Well, again, this is people nowadays, they go to courts as witness, they bribe them to give false evidence. Or they say, oh, I saw him do it when you didn't know anything about it. Oh, I had him say this when it is not true. Many of us do these things. Say, oh, I had you say it when you didn't hear anything. Did you really? Were you really there? Say, oh, I wasn't there. Then why did you say you had him? Why did you say you saw it? You see, this is false witness. You know, we God not judge us as we deserve, because many of us are guilty of this. So you shall not covet your neighbor's house. What does it mean covet? It means to desire what doesn't belong to you. It's an unholy desire. You shall not desire your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, nor his servants, male or female, nor his ox or his car, or his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. So I was going to say, look over the fence. Oh, they just bought a Mercedes. Oh, I wish I had a car like that. Oh, they just built a swimming pool in the back of their yard. Oh, they just bought a bike for their children. See? Begin to desire what belongs to your neighbor. That is a sin. That means you are not content with what God has given to you. That person that bought the Mercedes, you don't know how he got the money to buy his Mercedes. You just want to buy the same thing. You don't know whether he killed somebody. You don't know whether he defrauded. You just saw the car and immediately you want to go and buy the same thing. Here it's called grass is greener on the other side. You know? See somebody, within a few months they've built a big house. You are just working in the same, both of you are working in the same office. Where did you get the money? Usually you want to do the same thing. What's the secret? Say, oh, I'll take you somewhere. Oh, in Nigeria now, you know what they're doing? They're selling pants of females, 200,000 naira. Somebody sent me a WhatsApp post of this house girl. On her last day at this house, the owners of the house had to check her bag. And you know what they found? They found the pants of the lady of the house and her daughter. 6 pants were found in her bag. And they began to beat her and say, what do you want to do with this? They say, oh, I don't know. I started crying. Of course, they all know what it was going to do. We're going to sell it to the ritualists. She has collected the pants and she's going to sell it. What? For money. The Bible is correct when it says the love of money is the root of all evils. So we must not covet. We must not desire what God has not given to us. It's a great sin against God. We're telling God, God, I'm not happy with what you've given to me. No, I want more. See? So may God have mercy upon us. All these laws, and quickly going to the book of Matthew, we see clarification of some of these laws by our Lord Jesus Christ. Matthew 5, 21-26. It's good to be reminded of these laws because many of us break them regularly without knowing it. And now, when we are reminded of it, You should come back to a consciousness that, oh, I've been doing that all the time. God help me to stop doing that. So Matthew 5, 21, 26. So Lord Jesus said, you have heard that it was said by them of old time, shall not kill, and whoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment. Yes, that's what we just read in the Old Testament. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgments. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of counsel. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Wow. He says, you don't have to physically kill anybody. By your thoughts, some people, by your appearance alone, they hate you. Just your appearance, you haven't said anything to them, you haven't even greeted, nothing, just looking at you, you say, oh God, I wish this person was dead. What are they doing here, these people, these kind of people? You know? It happens all the time. So those people who have such thoughts, they are in heaven is correcting them that this person killed so dates. So when they begin to accuse them in heaven, say, oh, I didn't kill anybody, they say, that day that person, that man appeared at your store. This is what you thought in your heart against him. So that's equivalent to killing him. And so we are guilty of murdering him. See? He's angry with his brother without a cause. Now, there's no reason to be angry at that person. No. You just angry at them by their appearance, by their color, by the dress they wore, whatever. You're just angry. Say, look at that sister. She's always wearing flashy clothes, always wearing high heels. You know, you are guilty of murder. 1 John 3:15. And Raka, it means somebody who is vain. So when you use a swear word, you curse people, you are guilty of committing murder against them. 1 John 3:15. Rebecca can read it, or anybody else. 1 John 3:15. So our thoughts are very important. We send out arrows. Go on.
That whosoever believeth me,
Yes.
shall not perish, but have eternal life.
No, 1 John. 1 John 3:15. Not John. 1 John 3:15. Is anybody there?
Yeah, 1 John 3:15. Okay, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Whoever hates his brother,
yes,
is a murderer.
Uh-huh.
And you know that no murderer has eternal life
in heaven.
Abiding.
You see, if you hate your brother in your hearts, that's hellfire. Therefore, if you bring your gift to the altar and you remember that somebody has anything against you, leave there your gift before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother and then come and offer your gifts. Why? Because that your gift will be accepted by God. Now, remember I did say that if you have something against them, it says if they have something against you. Now, how do you know that? Well, those people will tell you, this person does not like what you did to them the last time. Or you have a sensation or whatever. It says, go and settle with them. Greet them. Say hello to them. How are you? How everything is fine. Settle it. Once you settle it, God can accept your gifts. But if you know someone has something against you, and you say you're going to bring your thanks offering, that person is already blocking the acceptance of your thanks offerings. By their thoughts against you, they block that thing. So you just wasted all your time and money. God won't accept it because of their thoughts against you. That's why it says, leave that gift at the altar. Don't give it to God yet. Say, I'm coming. Don't pray on it. I'm coming. Go to them. Greet them. Tell them, is everything okay? I hope there's no problem with me. I'm sorry if I offended you. I didn't mean it. Please, let's settle it. Let's go on. Then, once you've done that, the gate is open. And God would accept that gifts. You see? So these are very important things we have to take note of, because many of us say, oh, I'm going to give God this, and you are fighting somebody in your church. You and somebody are struggling over something. Don't waste your efforts trying to bring anything for God. Settle it first. God is not going to accept that gift because their thoughts, they've already blocked that thing. Say, leave there the gift for the hand. Agree with your adversary, your enemy, quickly. This is exactly what we're talking about. Your enemy, whilst you're in the way with him. Now, as you're dragging something and you want to go to courts, lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and you will cast into prison. Verily I say unto you, shall by no means come out till you have paid the uttermost farthing. God is saying, live at peace with everybody. You know, I had an experience some time ago where somebody did something terrible against me, cheated me for a lot of money, and I told him if he didn't pay up, I was going to take him to court and all that, and he didn't pay it, so I decided to take him to court, and I filed all the papers, and I served him. But one day, I was just reading something, and it just struck me. I said, what are you doing? What's all this court business? Didn't you read that you should settle the matter with your adversary? Why are you dragging him to court? God so convicted that day. So I told him, okay, I will do everything in the court. I canceled all the papers. I told him, okay, this is it. Let's settle it. Whatever you can give me, but I'm not going to court again. He was surprised because he was already going to get his own lawyer and all this stuff. So when I changed, he was surprised that eventually everything was settled. You know, that's what God is referring to saying here. Settle it. If you can, don't go to court. You don't know that court. Maybe they're even waiting for you there. There's no guarantee you're going to win anything, even though you might think you're in the right. So Jesus said, let us settle in peace. You know, Proverbs 25 verse 8 and Psalm 32 verse 6. Proverbs 20. So Michael can read Psalm 32 verse 6. Somebody else can read Isaiah 55 verse 6. Proverbs 22. Proverbs 25 verse 8. Psalm 32 verse 6 and Isaiah 55 verse 6.
God not fought hastily to strive. Leave thou know not what to do in the end thereof.
Okay.
When thy neighbors are put into shame.
You see? Start again, read it again. Proverbs 25 verse 8. It says, don't rush to something.
Go not forth.
Go not forth. Hastily. That means don't rush to strive. Okay.
Thou know not what to do in the end.
That is it.
When thy neighbor has put thee to shame.
Don't think, oh, I'm in the right. No, you'll be surprised. When you get to court, you find that they turn the judgment against you. Go not forth hastily to strive. That's you know not what to do in the end. And therefore, when your neighbor has put you to shame. Okay? Psalm 32 verse 6. I thought you already opened it.
Psalm
32 verse 6. Or Isaiah 55 verse 6.
Okay. Isaiah 55 verse 6. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near.
That's it. Okay? That's Psalm 32 verse 6. 32 verse 6. Yeah? Okay.
For this cause, everyone who is godly shall praise you.
Yes.
And when you may be found in a flood of great water,
Yes.
they shall not come near you. You are my hidden place.
Yes.
You shall precede me from trouble.
That's
You
it.
shall surround me with
Songs of deliverance.
Amen.
That's it. That's good, you see. So it says, we shall seek the Lord when he may be found. You know, the time to seek God is not when you're in trouble already. No, it's too late there. It's before the trouble comes. That's the time to seek the Lord. So when the flood of great waters, that means the trouble, when it finally gets to you, then you shall be in a safe place. For this reason, shall everyone that is godly pray unto you in a time when you may be found. Surely, when the floods of great waters come, they shall not come near to you. So your prayers before the trouble is your wall. And when that flood comes, it cannot get to you because you've already built a wall around yourself. And so we should settle with our adversaries, try and make peace with everybody, try and be at peace. And if somebody has anything against us, let us settle it when we bring our altar before God. If we want God to accept it, You know, many people do this in the church. They're fighting with people, keeping malice in the church with people, and they're offering gifts. They're just wasting their thanks offering. They're just wasting it. And they don't realize that that thing will not be accepted until you settle that thing with that person. Go to them, settle it, and then God would accept it. May the Lord bless holy words. Amen.